Wait a minute. Somebody wants Matt Patricia to call their plays? What is going on in New England? Thank God the Lions know what they're doing, right? It's Locked On Lions.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's happening, everybody? Matt Derry with you. Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. Let's do this on a Monday, June the 6th, into Tuesday, June the 7th. I can't believe I just uttered the words Matt Patricia, but I did. On this Monday edition of Locked On Lions, we're back on YouTube. Thanks for watching and joining us here, as well as, of course, on any other platform that you look for podcasts and find podcasts. We are here. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. And you can follow me on Twitter at Derry Speaks, DERY Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, and also the Matt Derry Facebook fan page. Again, YouTube. Find the page Locked On Lions on YouTube. Subscribe and watch us each and every day. Locked On Lions today brought to you by our friends at Bet Online. Look, folks, whatever it takes to place a bet, to learn more about gambling and everything else that goes on in sports, go to betonline.net. They are the best. It is Bet Online. Coming up on the show today, Aaron Donald gets paid. Yes, the New England Patriots are actually considering Matt Patricia for a major role. We'll get into that. 3 position battles to watch for Minicamp. Mandatory Minicamp starts tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, down in Allen Park with the Lions. We'll get into that coming up momentarily. And also, we've talked a lot about the division, right? Green Bay, they're the favorites to win the division. I still don't think the Lions are going to catch Green Bay. I know there's been some hot takes and hot topics about that. Chicago, I truly believe the Lions are better. I truly believe the Lions are going to be better than the Bears. But what about Minnesota? There might be a diamond in the rough in Minnesota that could cause the Vikings to be ahead of the Lions this season. We'll get into that coming up on the program as well. Again, Locked On Lions on a Monday. We appreciate you listening. All right. I never thought I would see this, but I woke up today and I'm perusing Twitter at Derry Speaks and I'm reading about things and I'm prepping for the show today and everything else. And I look up and I see the New England Patriots, according to Pro Football Talk and other reports, I believe it was Jeff Howe in Boston, reporting that Bill Belichick is considering Matt Patricia to call plays offensively this season for the Patriots. He is now the former Lions coach and offensive assistant with the Patriots. What on earth is that? Like, we're talking about, I sound like Allen Iverson talking about practice. We're talking about the New England Patriots here. Like, what, they won like 7 Super Bowls? Like, seriously. This dynasty, this model organization run by Bill Belichick, the GOAT, arguably the greatest coach of all time. He's brought back his buddy, Matt Patricia, to help with the coaching staff and to help be on the team and everything else and help out. And he was dubbed last year just sort of a special assistant to Belichick, and he helped with scouting. And now this season, he has been dubbed an offensive assistant. And according to reports in Boston, Matt Patricia possibly could be the play caller in New England. Think about this for a second. We're sitting here in Detroit talking about, is it going to be Dan Campbell or is it going to be Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays for Detroit? But at least we know this. This is Dan Campbell's team. Dan Campbell showed at times last year an aggressive nature. There was some creativity late in the season to the offense. And the Lions took some steps forward, especially with the running game, the offensive line, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Did Dan Campbell do a great job last year calling the plays? No, he did not. Did he do a good job? Arguably. Arguable. Now, with Anthony Lynn gone, Ben Johnson takes over as OC, but Campbell, who was calling plays midway through last year when Anthony Lynn was kicked to the curb, utilized some of the things that Ben Johnson was doing. All right? There's plenty of question marks here. This is a first time situation for Detroit with Ben Johnson. And for Dan Campbell, he's had half a year of experience as a play caller. But in New England, where the Patriots just, had Josh McDaniels there for 10 years plus, calling plays, winning games, having the, Tom Brady led offense just get ring after ring. And now the options are Belichick calls the offensive plays. He's been more of a defensive coach. Joe Judge, the former Giants coach back with the Patriots, could call the plays as like the quarterback's coach. Or they could hand the reins over to offensive assistant Matt Patricia. Now, if you remember, Matt Patricia for years in New England was the defensive coordinator. Now, it's not to say he doesn't know offense. These coaches know all sorts of things. But I'm just like stunned. Like, it makes the Lions look good that they cut bait with Patricia when they did. And I know they probably could have cut bait years earlier. But now it's crazy to me. Thank goodness he's gone. Do you know how bad the Quinn and Patricia era was? Like, people are like, the other day I saw somebody on Twitter saying, oh, Al Avila is so bad as Tigers general manager. And let's be honest, he's not good. But I would put Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia in that era of Lions football, and the disappointment and the amount of good players that left and were shipped out of here. I'd put that right up there with Matt Millen. What are the Patriots thinking? It's bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. I mean, the Lions are in a certain predicament. Some of you say, oh, it's typical SOL or typical Lions. This is what, they don't even know who's going to be calling the plays. But then you go, neither do the Patriots. New England. The Patriots. It's incredible to me. I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because for any Lions fans that are going, what are we doing? What are we thinking? Ben Johnson, who's that? Wait, Patricia's going to call the plays? Why didn't they get an OC? Why didn't they go outside? Did they, of the franchise, to find somebody? Is it because Dan Campbell knew all along that he was calling the plays? I think so. I think Dan Campbell knew from last year that he was going to be calling the plays this year. But then you look up and go, New England might have Matt Patricia in charge of the offense. I feel better today as a Lions fan. That's my point. I'm stunned. Stunned by that. All right, coming up next, Aaron Donald getting paid, some positional battles to look at for minicamp, and a name to remember for this season in the division. I'm going to do that coming up next. First, our friends at rockauto.com. With ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning inside the store? Stop going to the store. What you can do is go to rockauto.com on your computer, your tablet, your phone, and order your auto parts for a great price right there at Rock Auto online. Save time and save money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Don't do that. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer, and they are fantastic. Go to the website now, rockauto.com. See all the parts available for your car, truck, and write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Folks, you got to go to rockauto.com. And hey, BlueNile.com. If you're looking for jewelry, wedding jewelry, engagement rings, bands, whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, graduations are here. Find jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Blue Nile has simple online tools that let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. on the program. Give me 1 second here. All right, here we're back. We're back. Apologize for that little audio issue. All right, where were we? Thank you. This is the beauty of doing this on YouTube and all that stuff. So, all right, I saw something today that I was a little bit, not going to say was a little bit surprised at, but not surprising. Aaron Donald just got a brand new contract with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, yes, I'm not going to go back and go through the horror that was the draft from about 5 or 6 years ago when the Lions selected Eric Ebron with the number 10 overall pick, and Aaron Donald went 4 picks later to the LA Rams. I refuse to do that. I will not do that. But today, Aaron Donald got a brand spanking new 2-year deal, a 3-year extension, worth around $95 million. He is going to get, so 32, he's going to get about $32.5 million a year, making him the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. Again, I'm well aware of Aaron Donald's past. I'm well aware that the Lions and Martin Mayhew and company screwed up. Even with Ndamukong Suh on the team and Nick Fairley, they elected to take a tight end instead of Aaron Donald. But let me just say one thing about Donald, and then we'll get back to the Lions and the depth chart in a second here. Aaron Donald is worth every penny of this 3-year, $90+ million extension. And I know he's getting in the first 2 years $65 million this year and next year. He's worth every penny. And the reason I say that is at the end of games, at the end of big games, and at the end of both the NFC title game and the Super Bowl against the Bengals is when Aaron Donald came to play. And the reason that I'm kind of bringing this up on the Lions show here on Locked On Lions is because that doesn't happen here. The biggest players need to be making the biggest plays at the biggest time. And for some odd reason here, over the last 30, 40 years, all right, the Lions have had some players make big plays in big games. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford to an extent. But Aaron Donald is worth every penny because at $32.5 million a year for the next 2 years, it's what he deserves because he delivers in crunch time. He single-handedly took over the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter in a game where Matthew Stafford wasn't great, Joe Burrow wasn't great on the other side. I get that. But if the Lions are going to take these next steps over the next couple of years, in year 2 of this rebuild, it's got to be their big-time players making big-time plays at the end of games so that the Lions can win these games and can not finish 3-13-1. You know, how many missed opportunities, how many times late in games, whether it was the Pittsburgh game this past year or the Cleveland game, and I know I reference those games a lot, or any of the close losses that this football team had, Minnesota on the road, and all of those types of things. This team has got to perform, and the players have got to make these kind of plays. I think that's why the Lions feel like, all right, we're going to add a player like DJ Chark, even though it's a 1-year deal, that he can come up with some big-time play at the end of a game as a wide receiver. You know, it's why they drafted Aiden Hutchinson where they did. It's why they moved up to get Jamison Williams. It's time to get some stars in here that will dominate when need be and earn every penny. And so that's why I think Aaron Donald is worth it. I don't think that there's any question about it. He's worth that kind of cash. Should he be a Lion? Of course. But my point is, no matter if it's an offensive league, a passing league, whatever it is, this is a guy that earns every penny because when the moment's big, he shines the brightest. And that's been an issue with Detroit for years here. Best players have got to step up and do this and handle their business. And so that's why Aaron Donald's getting this kind of money, and I don't see any reason why he shouldn't have. Not at all. All right, real fast. 3 positions or position battles to kind of look for as Minicamp will open up tomorrow in Allen Park that I want to touch on and get into. First position battle this week that I think people should take a look at when you're talking about minicamp is definitely wide receiver. We know this. Jamison Williams will not be out there. Amon-Ra St. Brown will. DJ Chark will. Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Quintez Cephas. Then you got a guy like Trinity Benson, who last year was a complete bust for this team. Tom Kennedy is back. And a guy to keep an eye on is Khalil Pimpleton, the undrafted rookie, the diminutive wide receiver with a lot of speed out of Central Michigan. But this is a position group that needs to step up. And this organization, I'm not on the team, but this organization with Jared Goff and the running game and the offensive line, this organization is going to need the passing game to be elevated. No more dink and dunk. No more just 2-yard passes. The days of 3rd and 6 and getting 3 or 4 yards have got to be done. This team needs to move the chains. This team needs to outscore some opponents some weeks, because there's going to be weeks that this defense, while still young, is going to struggle. But I'm interested in seeing which receivers step up. We know St. Brown is going to have another big year, or at least it's going to be tough to duplicate what he did last year, but I have a lot of faith that that kid is a gamer and talented. Chark, as a free agent, must step up. But guys like Josh Reynolds, Quintez Cephas, Khalif Raymond, Pimpleton, any of these guys, taking that next step and helping this offense, achieve something that they haven't done in a few years is going to be big. And with Jamison Williams sidelined for minicamp, which receiver is going to step up? And will a guy like Quintez Cephas end up getting cut? He was a Bob Quinn draft pick, not a draft pick of Brad Holmes. And could a guy like Khalil Pimpleton or another receiver emerge to take his roster spot? That's a position to watch during minicamp. Number 2, it's not, let me go to defense for a second. That's linebacker. We've talked about this. Anzalone, Barnes, Davis, Rodriguez, Woods, Chris Board, Anthony Pittman, Sean Dion Hamilton, and maybe some of the guys like Julian Okwara and James Houston that are kind of hybrid players. Who's going to be on the field at minicamp? Who's going to take next steps so that when this thing starts in September, this coaching staff goes, hey, we can look back at June at mandatory minicamp and remember who is stepping in front of a pass, who is there in a passing lane to knock a ball down, who is covering tight ends and receivers and running backs out of the backfield. Linebacker is wide open. Wide open. So that's a position to watch at minicamp this week. The third one is not one that you will expect. And I want to get into that coming up next. First, though, our friends at BetOnline, they're the best. BetOnline.net, your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including this year's NBA championship, the NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Rangers and Lightning going on right now, Major League Baseball, and, of course, all the latest fighting news from our friends at MMA. I don't know anything about MMA, but you can bet on it at betonline.net. It's your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, live betting, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. Locked On Lions for a Monday continues. We talked about looking at receiver. We're talking about looking at linebacker during minicamp. One other position to watch during minicamp this week and to pay attention to is quarterback. Now you're going to say, well, why do you have to do that? Jared Goff's the guy. We know that. Is Jared Goff going to look the part during minicamp? What about this new offense? Ben Johnson's trying to figure out a way to get Jared Goff to play like he did in L.A. Wants to incorporate things that worked in L.A. with the Rams. Jared Goff is going to be somebody to watch during minicamp. If Tim Boyle and David Blau look good, whatever. I'm talking about Goff right here, right now. Can he take that next step, go to the next level, and prove a lot of these doubters wrong who think he stinks? It starts with minicamp now. What I love is he'll be there. It's mandatory, and he'll be working with a lot of his new receivers and new teammates to get some sort of rhythm going. Receiver, question marks. Linebackers, sure. But I want to see how good Jared Goff looks and how he performs during this minicamp. I think it's vital, and it's something that I want to check out and see. So that's another position to look at. All right, final thing, and I mentioned this before about the division. We've touched on Green Bay a lot. We've looked at Chicago a bit because I think the Lions are going to finish ahead of the Bears this year. I do. But a wild card in this division is the second year man out of Texas A&M up in Minnesota, their third round pick a year ago, the quarterback Kellen Mond. Now, a lot of you are going to go, Kellen Mond? Their quarterback's Kirk Cousins. What are you talking about? I know exactly what I'm talking about. Kellen Mond is going to get an opportunity. He did not under Mike Zimmer last year. It got to the point last year, he played like 3 snaps in like the last game of the year last year or second to last game last year, and that was it. And Zimmer was asked after that game, it was a Monday night game against the Packers, what'd you see from Kellen Mond? Or are we going to see more? And he's like, no. Zimmer and that staff in Minnesota, Kubiak, wanted nothing to do with their third round pick last year, a quarterback. This year, from what I've been reading and people I've been talking to, Kevin O'Connell, their new head coach, while Kirk Cousins is their guy, watch for Kellen Mond. He could be a wild card. He was not good last year to the point where the previous staff wanted nothing to do with him. But I think that there could be an opportunity, whether it's an injury with Cousins or if Cousins struggles, that they go to this kid and he could be the future there. He was really bad last year, apparently. So bad he never played, even when Cousins struggled in games. But all indications are from Vikings OTAs that this kid is going to get an opportunity at some point. And if he's really, really good, right, as a Lions fan. Just want to tell you, watch the name Kellen Mond. All right, Locked On Lions for a Monday into Tuesday. Thanks for making us your first listen. Subscribe on YouTube. We'll do it again tomorrow.